Over the years, various design philosophies have evolved in different parts of the world with regard to reinforced concrete design. In this session, we will discuss working stress method and ultimate load method. What do you mean by design philosophy? Design philosophy is basically built up on few fundamental premises, that is assumption, and it is a reflective of a way of thinking. Based on these assumption, designs of structural element is carried out. The earliest codified design philosophy is the working stress method of design. This traditional method of design is based on linear elastic theory and is still surviving in some countries, including India, although it is now sidelined by the modern limit state design philosophy. ISO 562,000 gives greater emphasis on limit state design. However, the provisions relating to the working stress method design procedure can be found in Annexure B of the code. The design procedure to follow the working stress method was the ultimate load method of design, which was developed in the 1950s. This method, sometimes referred as load factor method or the ultimate strength method. This method was based on the ultimate strength of reinforced concrete at ultimate loads. It evolved and gradually gained acceptance. In the mid 1960s, the probabilistic concepts of design received a major momentum. The philosophy was based on the theory that the various uncertainties in design could be handled more rationally in the mathematical framework of probability theory. The risk involved in the design was quantified in terms of probability and failure. Such probabilistic methods are known as reliability based methods. However, this theory was not accepted in professional practice, mainly because the theory appeared to be complicated and intractable mathematically and numerically. For codification, the probabilistic reliability method approach was simplified and reduced to deterministic format, including multiple partial safety factors. The term partial factor of safety for loads and materials can be found in limit state method. Presently, the limit state method of design, which is nothing but a method that accounts the drawback of working stress method and ultimate load method while incorporating uncertainties too into account, is being accepted and widely used. IS 456-2000 is based on the limit state method. Let us have a glimpse of working stress method and ultimate load method. Working stress method. This method was the traditional method of design not only for reinforced concrete but also for structural steel and timber design. The conceptual basis of working stress method is simple. The method basically assumes that the structural material behaves in a linear elastic manner. So here you see the structural material is assumed to behave in a linear elastic manner, and it is assumed that adequate safety is ensured by suitably restricting the stresses in the material induced by the expected working loads, that is service load, on the structure. As the specified permissible stresses are kept below the material strength, that is the initial phase on the stress strain curve, the assumption of linear elastic behavior is considered justifiable. Here in this graph of stress versus strain, of concrete, you can find that the curve is nonlinear. So the stress strain curve of concrete is nonlinear. However, since we are working within permissible stress, which is the strength of the concrete, that is ultimate strength. This is the ultimate strength. Now, if I want to work within permissible stress, which is within elastic region, we have to divide this by factor of safety. So this particular stress level is obtained by dividing the ultimate stress by factor of safety, and this falls within the linear region of the curve. It assumes that both the steel reinforcement and concrete act together and are perfectly elastic at all stages. That is, the modular ratio can be used to determine the stresses in the steel and concrete. It also assumes this modular ratio as constant. Modular ratio is ratio between Young's modulus of elasticity of steel to Young's modulus of elasticity of concrete. Shortcomings in working stress method. The assumption of linear elastic behavior and control stresses within specially defined permissible stresses are unrealistic. This is due to several reasons like creep, shrinkage, and other long-term effects. Stress concentration, and other secondary effects. The stress strain curve for concrete is nonlinear and is time dependent. Thus, the elastic modulus is a function of the stress level. It may also change with time, and hence the modular ratio is not really constant. You remember, in properties of hardened concrete, we discussed that the modulus of elasticity of concrete is not constant. It will change with time due to the effect of creep and shrinkage in concrete. So the assumption of structural material behave in a linear elastic manner is not applicable to concrete. The limitation due to non-linearity, that is geometric as well as material, and buckling are neglected. Different type of load acting simultaneously have different degree of uncertainty. Now this uncertainty of load is not considered in the design. For example, if you have dead load and live load, so there is a certainty regarding dead load, whereas in case of live load there can be an uncertainty. Similarly, for earthquake load or wind load we can have uncertainty. So that kind of uncertainty in load is not considered in the design in the working stress method. Moreover, the actual factor of safety is not known in this method of design. Nevertheless, in defense against these shortcomings leveled against working stress method, you may have a question: why structures designed by working stress method have generally been performing satisfactorily for many years till now? Well, the reason is the design usually resulted in relatively large sections of structural members compared to ultimate load method and limit state method, thereby resulting in better serviceability performance, that is less deflection, less crack widths, etc. under the usual working loads. It may be noted that although working stress method has been superseded by the limit state method in the design code for general RCC structures, it continues to be accepted method of design in India for certain special structure such as reinforced concrete bridges, water tanks, and chimneys. Ultimate load method. With the growing realization of the shortcomings of working stress method in reinforced concrete design, and with an increased understanding of the behavior of reinforced concrete at ultimate load, the ultimate load method of design evolved in the 1950s and became an alternative to working stress method. This method is sometimes also referred to as the load factor method or the ultimate strength method. In this method, the stress condition at the state of impending collapse of the structure is analyzed, and the nonlinear stress strain curve of concrete and steel are made use of. The concept of modular ratio and its associated problems are avoided entirely in this method. The safety measure in the design is introduced by an appropriate choice of the load factor, which is defined as the ratio of ultimate load to the working load. In this method of design, different types of load are assigned with different load factors under combined loading condition, thereby overcoming the related shortcomings of working stress method. For example, a low load factor is used for a load that is known more exactly, example the dead load, and a higher load factor for less certain load, example the live load, is considered. In the ultimate load design, the strength of the member must be more than the ultimate load acting on the member. So we have to remember this. Basically, in ultimate load method, the strength of the member should be more than the ultimate load acting on the member. This method results in more slender section and often more economical design of beams and columns compared to working stress method, particularly when high strength of reinforcing steel and concrete are used. Shortcomings in ultimate load method. The satisfactory strength performance at ultimate loads does not guarantee satisfactory serviceability performance at the regular service load. This method gives very slender sections, thus sometimes results in excessive deformation and cracking, thus making the structure unserviceable. Moreover, the use of nonlinear stress strain behavior for the design of sections become, becomes truly meaningful only if appropriate nonlinear limit analysis is performed on the structure. Unfortunately, such a structural analysis is generally not performed on reinforced concrete structure except in the yield line theory for slab, owing to the difficulties in predicting the behavior of plastic hinges in reinforced concrete.